Hey there, Fro Nation, and this week we have a pretty controversial type of Raw talk. It's not controversial for anything that we've done, but it's something that, well, we'll say Instagram did during the week, or botched and then had to recorrect and all of this good stuff. But before I explain more about what this week's Raw talk is about, I'm going to let you know that it's brought to you by allenscamera.com. Check out their new logo, by the way. I really like their new logo at allenscamera.com. They can help you with anything that you need, all your camera needs in the United States. We'll leave it at that. And don't forget about the FroKnowsPhoto Beginner Guide. If you're looking to get out of auto, you can pick that bad boy up. But other than that, let's talk about this week's Raw Talk. So what I did this week is a spreecast where we discussed what Instagram did. Now, Instagram, earlier in the week, for those of you who may not have known this, changed their terms of services to kind of say that they would be able to sell your work, or that they would sell your images to advertisers so they can make money to keep bringing you a free product and a free service. And basically, you don't get any rights or you don't get paid for that. So we went ahead and did a spreecast. It was Adam and I, and we brought it open to everybody else who wanted to join us on air, and there were some really good questions, really good discussions about whether you'd leave Instagram or did you leave Instagram, or what do you think about this. And I will say that we recorded this before Instagram's co-founder or founder came out with a PR release saying that they will not sell your images and they're rolling back on what they said, going back to the original terms of service, and they're listening. So we didn't know that they were not going to sell your work at the time. We were going under the assumption that what they said in their new terms of services was that they would sell your work and they would do it to make money, so that they can continue to bring you Instagram and all of the fun stuff that you get from that. Now, I have my opinion, Adam has his opinion, and even though they rolled back what they said, I don't think that changes what Adam and I thought. And we actually changed some people's minds out there who got onto the spreecast with us, who were thinking, well, I may not use Instagram anymore if they're going to do this. But we came up with some good ideas on why you probably, well, maybe shouldn't want to jump ship just so soon. So if you'd like to watch the actual spreecast, you can check it out at FroKnowsPhoto.com/podcast. Look for the latest podcast on Instagram, Debacle. I don't even think we had a secret word this week. I didn't come up with a secret word this week. All right, I'm going to go with a secret word. I'm just going to make it up on top of my head. Yeah, let's just call it the Instagram Debacle. Just tweet that out and Instagram it and Facebook it and just say Instagram Debacle. So guys, enjoy this week's Raw Talk. It's something a little different. Not sure if this is the last one for the year. It may be the last one for the year, but we shall see. So go ahead and enjoy it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I'm about to, well, Adam, how are you today?
I'm okay. Good to be here.
Did you Instagram out that we're going to be on Spreecast right now?
Well, I'm gonna definitely Instagram it out. I think we'll Instagram like all day long. Let's just clog the network. Like everybody just send Instagrams every 2 seconds.
But good Instagrams, ones that you want to sell.
Yes. The ones that I want sold for me.
So this is why we're here. Instagram says they're going to start to sell your images, the images that you upload to a free service. I'll put that out there. Free service starting January 16th, 2013. So that means that images that you put up before that point, they're not going to touch. It's saying that anything that you upload after January 16th or January 16th and on, they may, or they have the right to sell them to somebody, anybody, somebody who wants to pay them to use the images that you tagged or posted or whatever. So we're going to have a discussion about this, whether I'm leaving Instagram, whether Adam's leaving Instagram. We want to hear from you guys, but we're going to talk about this a little bit first on our side, and then we're going to go from there. By the way, share the link that's on the screen so we can get more and more people in here. Adam, first things first, what do you think right off the bat?
You know, I think that the social aspect of Instagram is so powerful, the way that it connects people, the way that a friend of mine said that it's the place to be. It's where everybody is at right now. Whereas like a few years ago, everybody was on MySpace. Maybe for like 30 seconds, people were on Friendster. You know, obviously Facebook is somewhat ubiquitous. I think that people use Instagram maybe even more so or in a different way than even Twitter, because it really, I think, is a visual diary for a lot of people. And I feel that even though the community of people probably watching this feed that we're putting out here, and a lot of photographer friends, and a lot of people that are maybe artists and people that, you know, are worried about copyright and all that kind of thing, are going to be really upset. I think the vast majority of people are just going to be like, eh.
Well, here, let me step in there. Let me say this, that I guarantee you that 90-some%, 90, maybe even 99% of the people on Instagram, the 100 million or however many they have now, have no clue about what's in the terms of service, don't really care, aren't photographers, just want to share and socialize with their friends, because that is what Instagram is. It's a way to put your photos out there and share them with your friends. Do I agree that they're going to possibly sell your images and not give you credit and not pay you? Maybe not. But am I going to stop using Instagram because of this? No. And we can't forget that it is a free app, like Eric Rossi just pointed out. It's free. Facebook is free. Facebook is mining so much data from you and selling it. How do you think all the targeted ads hit you on Facebook? They hit you because Facebook, you put information on Facebook for free. You put all the information. If you didn't want any of your information out there, you wouldn't put it on Facebook. But they are targeting you with advertisements based off of you uploading whatever you upload. So for Instagram to do this, well, it's actually Facebook doing it because Facebook owns Instagram. And Facebook can already use some of your images to target ads to you currently. So there.
I think it's like this, is, you know, there's a lot of photographers out there that have made their entire career, or they've really made their career happen because of the traction that they've gained from Instagram. There's some photographers out there that have tens, even hundreds of thousands of followers, and they've even been commissioned to do jobs because of their presence on Instagram. So maybe, look, for me, perhaps maybe I won't take screen grabs or repost images that I've shot, you know, either on a photo shoot or professional shots. Maybe I won't take images from my, you know, from other cameras and put them on Instagram. Maybe it'll just be my visual diary, and it'll be like just low-res stuff that I still really enjoy posting and interacting with, because of course I don't want somebody selling or having the right to sell or license images without paying me for it.
And on the other side, when we've been posting images on Flickr, Facebook, Google Plus, if you even use that junky thing, Tumblr, Tumblr. How many people have the ability to just grab your image now, put it on their blog without you ever knowing about it? And does it matter, or is it better for you that it's seen? And the point that you made before about people have made their career off of Instagram, they have. There's people that get paid now because they're Instagrammers that got freaking huge to go to Israel. There was that whole Israel tour where they got paid to go to Israel and just Instagram photos. So there's people getting paid for this stuff. Ooh, I like this +1. I wish it was like around the horn and we could get plus points and minus points. Spreecast, add that. Britt, write that down, please. But yeah, so we're going to open this up to you guys soon. But my feelings, again, I will continue to use it. I use it as a way to interact with the people who want to follow what I'm doing. And I use it to follow what other people are doing and engage in conversation. Flickr sells your photos if you opt into it. And that's to Getty. And I know from not personal experience, but from people close to me that have, Getty has sold images and they give you $10. They give you $20. It's like, okay, yippee, I'm going to make a living off of that. And what I was reading earlier is there's 5 billion photos on Flickr right now. Are they going to, sorry, on Instagram? Are they going to search and find yours? It's possible that they may never see your images. But again, if I take a picture of a what?
There was an example like where somebody was like, like when you were in Aruba, let's say like you had the location services on, and then the hotel found that you had taken some really great pictures from their location. That would be a targeted example of where they would want to use those images.
Yeah, I was just going to say the whole thing of me shooting that double rainbow and putting that up for people to take a look at.
Double rainbow.
They, the Arubian hotel of the Westin that I stayed at could use that. But then there's that other thing. I'm not taking photos with my Instagram, with my phone, that are photos that I am going to use professionally. It's very rare. I will go and I'll shoot. So Justin Bieber's on stage. If I shoot a Bieber picture, you know what? Is Instagram going to be allowed to sell that because it's a celebrity? Does that open up a whole...
What if you did the bunch of Bieber stuff on Instagram and Bieber's people contacted you and they said, look, man, you had a really unique way of shooting that. As much as we like those, we'd like, maybe to use some of those and see where it goes and or hire you. It's possible. Would you say no? Those were just iPhone pictures, you can't?
But I'm saying a lot of celebrities use Instagram to put their images out there. I wonder if there's going to be a caveat in some kind of law that says you can't sell the celebrity's image without giving them permission, or without getting permission.
I honestly don't feel that anybody... Look, Instagram is... There's a level playing field. It doesn't matter how much money you have, where you come from, what your social status is, if you're a celebrity or not. If you're on Instagram, you're just like anybody else, and the rules are the rules. It's not like Twitter where you can become certified or vetted or whatever. I don't think that a celebrity should get a special treatment just because they're a celebrity on Instagram. Granted, if a celebrity is worried about privacy, they probably shouldn't be on Instagram.
Or social media, for that matter.
That matter. Absolutely. There's a lot of celebrities that are using it.
Yeah, and a lot of the photos, like I see this, I could care less what they do with my blurry photos. A lot of this is just to document things day to day. If somebody's going to want to sell it, good. Sell the freaking picture. I'm not uploading anything that is going to hopefully maybe change the world. If I have the choice between using my D4 or my iPhone, I'm picking up my D4. And then if I want to... And let me look at my notes. I've got some notes here because there are things I wanted to hit on. Well, one, there's bigger social issues in the world to worry about other than whether Instagram is going to sell your images. We can all agree on that, I hope.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, have you ever sold any of your Instagram photos, Adam?
No.
Have you ever thought about trying to sell any of your Instagram photos?
No.
No. So I've never tried to sell any of my Instagram photos, nor do I think I'm going to try to sell any of them. So if they decide they want to...
But let's just say this. Let's just say that some concert promoter or tour manager or somebody said, Jared, I like you as a photographer. I like your point of view. Instagram is the new wave of media that's out there. I want to hire you to do a tour, to go on tour with us for a week and Instagram it. And I'm going to pay you X dollars to do it, whatever. Then what?
In this case, then what? Then I'm going to Instagram it because I'm probably doing it on their Instagram profile. They're paying me to do it. We've negotiated that they're paying for basically me to create images that they're going to own once they're taken.
Right. One thing I want to address really quickly on a side note here is a lot of people are like, oh, what about watermarking? Well, look, guys, unless you cover your image top to bottom, side to side with watermarking is a waste of time because anybody can take that image, do a screen grab, dump it into Photoshop or any editor, crop it or just, swipe it out of there, and your watermark is dust. So as much as people think watermarking brands your images or keeps it from being stolen, it really, unfortunately, doesn't. I used to think that watermarking was like something that was interesting and cool, and now I'm not into it at all. I think it takes away from the look of an image, and it really doesn't do anything to prevent somebody from grabbing it.
And here,
That's my.
Joe. No, and I hear you. Watermarking is just, yeah, passe, and then we're not going to get into that discussion
Sure.
now. But they will use images of celebrities and sell it to magazines and newspapers. I will tell you this: magazines are already scouring images from celebrities. If they post it on Facebook and they post it on Instagram, you can take it and you can use it. You could just take it and use it. You've posted it in that public domain area, and
Right.
I'm sure there's copyright law. I am not versed in copyright law, so
Well,
I
let's
don't know everything.
real quick. Kidding.
What was that?
I said let's read up on copyright law real quick.
Right. There are a lot of magazines who follow the artists who put their images up on Instagram and will use them in the publication or online. So it's not much of a big deal. Here's something I can think that's going to happen. With all this backlash, do I think it's going to make a big dent in Instagram? Not terribly too much, because most of the people don't care and don't know anything. Possibly you may get an option to turn on this, maybe they'll kick back or give you credit or start to give you a percentage if they sell the image, just like on Flickr, because you have the options to opt in. Maybe that's going to happen. But don't forget that Facebook now owns Instagram, and all the same rules that apply to Facebook are going to apply to Instagram. You're giving a ton of information to Facebook every single day that they data mine, they sell, they use, and you're not yelling and running away from Facebook right now. All those people who have been sharing images on there know that it's a possibility that, one, people can take it, two, Facebook may be able to use certain images for certain things. So you've got all of those different things that are going on, and to me, it's not a reason to get off of Instagram. And I'm just going to keep going off on this rant right now. It's a free website, or it's a free service. Facebook is free. A lot of these things are free. So you are the person, you're the commodity. They need you to make money. If you weren't there, I mean, you have the ability to leave if you really wanted to. But remember that in the mid 2000s and we'll say now late 2000s, there was a huge push for free model. Everything was about free. Like Bright Cove and all of these places were out there for free service. But what happened? Why isn't Facebook free? Why? Explain to me why Facebook is not free. and then these companies couldn't sustain growth and to make their companies better because they weren't free. Or because they were free, they couldn't sell. And now they have to, now they sell. Like Spreecast. You're going to see ads one day, probably. Look, YouTube. There's ads on YouTube.
The thing is that YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, all of these services understand that their greatest commodity is their content. And the content is being created by users. And that's where they're going to capitalize, because that's their trust fund. It just keeps growing. And I think that, as much as we want to kind of refute the idea that our data is sacred, it's not sacred.
Here's a crappy statement. I'm just going to say it from CTJ. Photography is dying a slow death, unfortunately, and this is just one other step towards the death. Fro knows. The first part, it's not dying a slow death. It's unfortunate that you think this way, but there's still quality work being done out there. There's just a lot more people taking crappier photos with their iPhones, but that doesn't mean that photography is dying. It's up to us to make photography better, and that's what Adam and I are doing by putting out content all the time and doing Spreecasts like this to keep pushing the envelope. But no, I don't care, Chrissy. I don't care that I called this guy out. At least he put himself out there and made a statement. But I don't think, it's not dying a slow death, and this isn't an example or a step towards that.
Right. So, I mean, the thing is that, if, for example, Instagram had charged since the beginning, it was a paid app. Would they have had the following that they had? Would people have ponied up the money to pay for it, or would they say, nah, I can find another free one somewhere else?
Pick me, Adam. Pick me.
I have a question here, or an answer.
Yes, thank you for bringing that statement up. Why? Why? Because Instagram is successful because it's free and it's social. We all bought Hipstamatic or thought about buying it for $4.99. Then you had to buy filters. Then you had to buy film. Then you had to buy this, and then you had to buy that. The reason Hipstamatic never became huge, and I mean huge, Gary V huge, is because they charged. Free is the way to gain traction, and then you have to start finding a way to monetize. And Facebook is running through that right now. Facebook is a publicly traded company that has to make money. You do not have to be on Facebook. You have the choice to turn off your Facebook. And most of you, if you turn it off, aren't going to be able to communicate with a lot of people because a lot of your daily communication is done through Facebook. There's 1.1 billion people on Facebook currently. Is it changing? Yes, it's changing. They're making us pay for stuff and sponsor posts. But again, Facebook is so embedded into everyday life, even scrolling up to the top of Spreecast, log in with Facebook. When Facebook put that out years ago to log in using your Facebook, that was like a win because you became embedded in the world. You became embedded in the internet, and you are the simple way to log in. And that's my rant on that. Do you want to? You have anything else to say before we start bringing people in?
Well, there's also like those, war photographers and, people that have done like some very, significant work with Instagram, that they're in a compromised position because people that are photojournalists that have, tens of thousands of followers and whatnot, perhaps they don't want their images being harvested. I don't know. It's such a crazy thing because it's like you're given something and then something's being taken away. It's like if all of a sudden, like Instagram said, you know what? Here's the thing: if you don't want your images being harvested, you pay us for the app or whatever, or pay us a monthly subscription. Would everybody? People jump ship. What's that?
Exactly. And have you there's a website out there, OkCupid, which is a dating website that is free. They instituted something where they make money off of ads. They said, if you don't want to see ads, give us $5. Okay? So they gave that offer. But Mike saying Instagram is running a scam, not a business. I don't know what planet you're living on, Mike. Yeah. To call it a scam, it's called business. They had an idea to create something. They created something that blew up well beyond what they ever thought, I am sure, could happen, to get bought out by Facebook for $1 billion on a scam that they made. What's the scam? The scam's on you. You use it. Right. It's not a scam. We all use it. It's social. I wish Kilkenny Cat would get on the screen and tell me why she's leaving Instagram right now in exchange for Flickr.
I honestly feel that nobody should be hasty to leave Instagram until this whole thing kind of has a chance to settle, because number one, Instagram is going to potentially react to all of the backlash that's going on, and two, we have until January. We have a month, people, to deal with this issue. Okay. Now, granted, if people were thinking that a mass exodus would cripple the company, and enough people got on board with it and it would make a social change, sure. But I honestly don't believe that there's enough people out there that really give a crap enough or want to lose their social connection on Instagram enough to do it. They're certainly going to voice their opinions, but they're not just going to hit the delete button.
Well, and most people will have no idea that this discussion's going on. But this, discussion, companies have done this before, where there's been a backlash, and then they pull back, and they got all this publicity out of it, and nobody really jumped ship. Did anybody leave Facebook when they changed your timeline, and when they forced you to use the box at the top of the page, whatever the hell they call that thing? No, you didn't leave. And so here. There are other ways to get money besides selling people's photos on Instagram. So one of the other ways I can see Instagram making money is inline advertising. Yeah. As you're scrolling through your images, you're going to see a freaking ad. So we already see that on Facebook now. Does it bother me? No.
But Jared, Instagram is smarter than that. And they realize that people are annoyed by those, or they disregard them, and they realize that their greatest asset is the content that's just being continuously created by their users. So they're going to harvest that. It's smart. It's smart business. It doesn't mean that anybody has to agree with it, but it's definitely a smarter model than going out there and looking for advertisers and looking for the ad revenue. They can generate it on their own from within. It's like a stock photo agency, but the difference is that there's no revenue being paid to the contributors, other than the idea that you're getting a free social service.
Okay, so do I think they should change it and offer to cut you in on the paying? Sure, I do. That's an option, like Flickr. But Flickr, was huge, and Flickr has floundered over the past couple years. It's not as social. They just put out the app. They just put out that new app. I haven't even downloaded to try it yet. But if I take a picture when I take a picture and I upload it to Instagram, I share it to Twitter, I share it to Facebook, I share it to Tumblr, and I share it to Flickr because it goes on all of them. So, it doesn't really bother me that much. And I don't think it's the death of photography. If you guys want to get on video, we'd love to get you guys on video. Click the camera button. I'm going to try and get some people on here. Let's see.
One thing to really, though, keep in mind, though, is the privacy issue. If you're somebody who is very private, or you really want to maintain the privacy of your children or your family or whatever that may be, then yeah, I could imagine maybe you don't want to put any content up past January 16th that references any of those things that can be harvested. And I think that they're basically also making it incumbent upon us to choose now what content, if we weren't as careful choosing it previously.
And if you want to be private on Instagram, you can continue to be private on Instagram.
Right. But let's just make the distinction that if you have a private account, that doesn't necessarily make your content private.
I believe I can't tell you, but all I heard is that they put something else in there. All I read is that they put something else in there that if they accidentally put out private information, you can't sue them. I'm putting somebody on screen, Josh Price. It said something like he's a tech reviewer extraordinaire from Maryland. And has he shown up yet?
No.
Josh.
There he is.
Hey, Jared.
What's up?
Nothing. Nothing.
You got to talk. You're killing me.
Oh, sorry. My mic doesn't seem to be working.
All right. What do you have to say about this?
About the Instagram thing, I think it's a bunch of junk. I don't mind the advertisements. I get them every day. I download thousands of apps, like pretty much, over the year I've downloaded probably 1,000 apps or so. Every single one has had advertisements. I just don't care, as long as they don't get in the way of everything I do. If they're taking my private photos and selling them to people I don't know, they can't even call it privacy anymore.
But you just said private photos. They're not, from what I've read, going to take your private photos if you are you uploaded them, right? You uploaded them for everybody to see.
Yes.
You uploaded them. If they're private, don't share them.
Right.
Don't upload them.
Josh, question. Out of the thousands of apps that you've downloaded, have you paid for them, or are you predominantly downloading free apps?
I'm mostly free apps, maybe like a few paid apps, but I tend to stay away from paid apps.
Right. So you've decided that you're willing to put up with a little bit of an inconvenience to use the free apps with advertising. And
yes.
This is kind of a similar type of thing. The difference is that they're harvesting what's considered personal information.
So there's a possibility that they may never touch any of your images, but they're taking some others to sell to give you the free service. Right. But again, if you want to not put up, if it's private up, I didn't lose them up. Oh, I almost clicked them off. If it's a private image, don't post it. It comes down to that. Right. That's it. If it's a private picture, don't post it.
No, right, Jose, keep the Tiger Stripe Speedo's personal photos up there. Everyone needs to see that, man.
I put up a picture of me in a pink bathing suit and floaties, all right? The other day when I was in Aruba. This is funny. Just read this. Jeff streams at blah, blah, blah. Spoiler alert, Instagram already sold all your photos for $1 billion. True statement. Very good. That's funny. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? Let's bring on... What's going on?
What's going on? Not much. I've been following this for a couple of days, or thinking about something like this for a couple of days now. Like, someone actually did want to sell my photos, And to a degree, it kind of doesn't bother me in a way because like those of my photos, they still to my client list. That's
Okay, you heard that too, right, Adam?
I think a helicopter was landing on his rooftop, so we got to find somebody else.
I want to hear what you say. Put in headphones. You got to put in headphones, and not use Chrome if you're using Chrome. And then let me know. Let me know when. All right. Let me know when you're ready to go. And just give me type into this chat box. Let's see. Who else do we have here that I can pop up? Chrissy. I'm waiting for her video. She doesn't have video. Thumbnail looks good, but no video there. We already got Josh in here. I'm waiting for other people to get in video. What other questions do we have in here? Let me read some of my notes real quick. What other notes did I have?
Well, it's the same thing. If you want to think about it, it's like pirating music. It's like pirating software. People just don't want to pay for things. People just want, to take it for free. And I think that in this kind of case, it's this, Instagram doesn't want to pay for it. They want to take it for free. And I think that that's when the tables are turned. It's like there's so many people out there that it's like you look at their iTunes library and you're like, how many albums did you guys pay for? And they're like, oh, I burned it off my friend, or I copied it off my buddy's hard drive. And it's like, well, that means that band, that record label, nobody got any revenue from that. Everyone just took it and harvested it for themselves. Granted, it wasn't personal information, but I think that, it's kind of like, it's not a two-way street for people.
All right, we good now? Go ahead. Say. Saw. Say. Saw. Is he frozen?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, frozen. Here's Chrissy.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's a software developer, and the same thing is true, is that, he had an app that he was selling for 99 cents. He dropped the price to free, and his downloads went up 400% like that.
Before I talk to Chrissy here,
yep,
my website is free, right?
Yeah, but you're stealing all my images.
Only on occasion. So
all right.
My videos are on YouTube. YouTube has uploaded how many terabytes of my videos, and in exchange for that, they put advertising on the videos, which helps me a little bit, and it helps them keep their service growing. Do you boycott YouTube now because they put ads over the videos? Certain times, if I can't skip an ad, I will not even watch a video. But the stuff I put out there, it's free, and some people buy t-shirts. Some people go to our boot camp classes. We just got another sign up for San Francisco right now, Adam. So,
nice.
This stuff is what happens. We have to support ourselves somehow. Chrissy, what's up?
I just want to say, I just started paying or charging for my work, and I'm tired of doing selling my photos for free, or not selling them, but giving away photos for free. And now Instagram is, wanting to sell my photos without credit. I don't know, it's a little hard for me.
Well, I'll tell you this: people have been doing work for free as a photographer forever.
Yeah.
I get asked today to do work for free and have to decide whether or not I want to do it in exchange for putting my work out there.
Yeah.
Are you shooting these jobs? Are you shooting jobs with your your iPhone or what, Android phone, using Instagram?
No, but what I'll do is I'll share some of the stuff that I did. So I'll, email it to my phone and then share it on Instagram just to kind of show, a small version of my portfolio if I'm with, someone that is looking for a photographer.
And even if they did sell it, would it even matter? You're using it for promotion. So you are using Instagram as an advertising platform for free advertising, which is a good thing, because you're reaching people that you would have never reached before if you didn't have that social outreach possibility. So in exchange for that, what if they turned around and sold your image, and so what? You used them, the service that they built, to get out your information, and they're using you by using the image that you posted to possibly sell it to help pay for the whole thing. It's a cyclical process. It's a
That
given.
makes sense, yeah.
I think it's one of those things that if you didn't
You have to
have,
think about it from all different angles. It's kind of weird.
what's that?
Right. Well, she said you have to look at it from all different angles, and this is a discussion. You know, it's not saying that it's right. It's not all right. It's not all wrong. But the way that I just said it sounds pretty damn good in my mind. That you're using them, and in exchange, they're taking a little bit back from you, and they may never even get it from you in the first place.
Yeah. I just want the little photo credit. That's all I want.
And maybe that will happen. But also know this: if Adam does an advertising job for a clothing company, they're not posting his name in those ads.
No,
Yeah.
I just found out the other day that a job that I shot, they actually used some of the images in GQ, ran in GQ, 2 full-page ads. I didn't know about it. I didn't get photo credited. Granted, I'm going to get some back-end licensing on it, which is kind of cool, but I get no credit for that. And, you know, that's because those arrangements have been made, and that's just kind of a done deal. But, you know, photo credit really, I think, only really comes into play when you're doing editorial work, which typically doesn't really pay very much. So you have to kind of decide what it is that you're looking to get out of the job you're doing.
And now that we think about that statement that I just made, that I'm going to pat myself on the back for making, if I think back to me as a brand, if I didn't have Facebook, if I didn't have Twitter, if I didn't have YouTube to put out my videos, you people wouldn't be sitting here right now on Spreecast listening to my fuzzy head talk. Because I used them to build what I have built. Without me putting out free information, I would not be sitting here right now. I'd be at a day job somewhere hating it. Because I used the tools that were available to me to become successful. So now, what do you think about that, Chrissy?
I don't know. This is like this whole thing of like Instagram. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
Well, go ahead, talk it out. Like, what now that you know? What are you you do get jobs from Instagram, or you have your friends follow. They enjoy seeing what you're doing, and if you keep that constant engagement going, somewhere down the road, somebody's going to call you and say, "Oh, you know what? You shot my friend's wedding. I saw the picture you put up on Instagram. You just made $3,000 to $5,000 on a wedding. I think that far outweighs the Instagram from selling your image for $50 or $100 or whatever."
Yeah, I think that's true. I think what really bugs me is like I just want to know if they use my image.
I hear you.
Like, I just want to know.
You're just not going to know, and I think that that's the thing. And it's like it would be the same thing if you sold an image to a stock agency. You know, you might get a certain amount of revenue that would reflect that your image was being used, but you might have no idea where and when and how. And I think that it's the same kind of thing. And, you know, I think Jared made probably the best point, you know, to argue for it that I've heard is basically if you utilize these services as a free advertising and promotional tool and they're actually working for you, it's hard to say, you know, why, you know, that you'd want to end it. Yeah. Based on the possibility that they might sell some of your images for some little fee somewhere at some point.
Hang on here with us. This is a good question. How would you feel if YouTube sold your podcast without paying you? I put my... Okay. How would I feel if they sold it and they were making money and they weren't cutting back? I wouldn't be happy about it. But I guess you look at something like iTunes. I put it on iTunes willingly. iTunes utilizes anything that's there. They promote sometimes and they get paid. Or like a Stitcher. If I put it on Stitcher, which it is on Stitcher, Stitcher makes money off of people listening to my podcast. But then I look at it a totally different way. If I pick up a new reader, if I pick up a new follower, and somebody buys a t-shirt, that's helping support what I am doing. I totally understand. I would not be happy, but everything is done for a reason. There are always ulterior motives to doing things, and it's a give and take. What fights are worth having and what fights are not worth having. So in this case, if you get a wedding out of it, even just one wedding, was it well worth having the possibility of them selling your images?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Anything else?
Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Where are you from?
Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah.
How's it going over there right now?
It's good. Yeah. We're going to get snow tonight, but that's it.
I didn't want to ask if you went and saw Batman there.
No, I did not.
I'm sure with all the news right now, it's not to slow this thing down and get into that direction, but I hope everything's okay over there.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
All right, good
Thank
luck.
you.
I didn't mean that in a bad way by any stretch of the imagination. It's just we know
It's a
what
touch
happens there.
because it's very, it's kind of, pretty. Anyway, we don't need to go there
I
right now.
understand, John. No, I don't need to go there, but it's just I was asking how everything's going.
Sure.
What's going on, Say?
How's the audio this time?
Now we're
Pretty good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So my stance on the whole thing is it bothers me to a degree, but it doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, they may use my photo, but like you said last person, I'm using the service for free, getting clients, people seeing my images, spreading my name, getting to know me. It's free advertising. If they don't use a photo tube of mine, it doesn't bother me that much. And if I see the photo, can figure out it's from Instagram, I'm just gonna add whoever it is to my client list. That's how I feel about it. Facebook said they're gonna do it a few years ago. I've yet to see it in my photos anywhere. So when Instagram said they're gonna do it, I wasn't too worried about it. It's free advertising, if anything.
And I am not going to post. Well, I mean, I post. Look, the change of mind I had a couple not too long ago is some of you guys realize I put full res images up on Flickr. I put the full res exported JPEGs up of some of the artists that I shoot, of some of the photos that I shoot. Why? Because they're not things that I'm going to turn around and sell sometimes. I put them out there because it helps me. And they can be taken. Those images can be taken right off of Flickr. They're not protected. They're copywritten. It says that they can't be used and sold to Getty, but that's not going to stop somebody from taking an image and printing it and me never knowing about it. The same thing, but I also know that I benefit a ton by putting my images out there and getting people to come back to my site. How do we say your name?
Exactly. Shay.
S-A is Shay?
Yes, ask my mom.
I mean, you've had to explain that forever.
Yes, I have.
Shay, do you like vanilla ice cream?
Yeah, to a degree. I'm trying to get the chocolate strawberry one also.
Is that a piggy?
There's a whole collection I want to get. Huh?
Is that a piggy bank?
No, it's just a hollow ice cream cone. I might make it into a light eventually.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, keep going. You got anything else you want to add to this?
I do understand some people's concern, like with the whole privacy thing. Like, yeah, there are people that just post pictures of their kids all day. You want to see your kids on a billboard one day when you're out and about. That is a little freaky to some people. I figure if they're going to do anything to it, change it where if your account's private, they can't use your pictures. Because a lot of people that do post images of their family usually have private accounts. That in itself would take away a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
Everyone I follow on Instagram, for the most part, pretty much uses it for free advertising to get a service out there, promote their music, their photography, themselves, their modeling, whatever it may be. It's an advertising service at its root. Yes, we call it a social network, but every social network to a degree is nothing but free advertising. That's all it is. You get your events out there, yourself out there, you sell stuff through it, you buy stuff through it.
And
it's nothing more than a market.
And what you said there, if you don't want your pictures out there, don't put them out there. Even going onto Facebook, even if you have a private account and you share with people, you're still putting them somewhere. There is a chance that they could leak out. But I mean, look at Wiener. Wiener tweeted his Wiener, and look what happened.
Let's not look at.
Well, no, I mean, and this is a really good discussion to have because we get both sides of it. Like you just said, I think there may be some tweaks coming. If there's a backlash like this, somebody's got to come out and say something. And the same thing happened with Google Plus at the beginning. When Google Plus first came out, everybody thought that Google Plus could sell your images because they look so amazing on there. They were quick to come out and say that they can't sell them, but they may still use them for something, for advertising Google Plus and used on Google and things like that. But it's a trade-off. So if they pull back on some of the language, if they say if you're on a private account, we can't touch your images, which I think is already the case. If you opt in and they have to let you know that they used it, then cool. But I just think it's a lot of publicity, a lot of people, a lot of hype going on right now, and it will die down, and everybody will go back to using it just like they used it before, just like Facebook, when everybody threatened to get off of it when they made some changes, but nobody's gotten off of it. Very few people have gotten off of it.
I remember that one change where they changed the privacy policy, where it's pretty much how Instagram is changing theirs. A lot of my photographer, my online friends were freaking out. So that's earlier, like, if they use my image, I'm going to use it and just add them to my client list. It'd be amazing. Look at my colors and see Facebook right there. It just makes you look that much better. Yeah, they didn't pay you, but they use your image. They're technically a client. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
And it's nothing that's really going to happen, because from what I remember with Facebook's, the way it was is they would use the advertising towards your friends. It wouldn't be some random stranger. If anyone saw it, it'd be your picture, your name on the side of the thing saying, hey, so-and-so's done this, that, or the other. That was my understanding how the advertising was going to work on Facebook.
Okay. Shay, that makes sense. I think it's you made some cool points.
Definitely good points there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Shay. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for switching over to the, what are we on, Safari, to make the point. Yeah, and you know, if you, like Adam or somebody wrote, if you don't like it, come out with something better yourself. It's not easy. It's not easy to create the next Instagram. It's not easy to create the next Facebook. But you know, I'm not going to stop using Instagram. I may not put certain things up there. I may not take one of my musician photos that I edited on the computer and then put it out there. I'll still put it on Facebook. I don't know. I look at it as we've gone it. I don't want to kill it in infinitum, but I use it as a promotional tool to get known. And because I get known, I'm able to get certain things out there that I couldn't have gotten before.
Right. And think about how you've used all the different social media outlets to build your brand and build, you know, all of the things that you've created. I mean, without all of those outlets, you know, how would you have done it? And I think that that's a tremendous thing to consider for a lot of people out there, musicians, artists, photographers, whoever they may be. I mean, I know that, you know, what did bands do before the age of the internet? They made, you know, burned discs or made tapes and handed them out to people.
I was just going to say Napster. You know, Napster helped music because it helped free the whole system to get, you could listen to whatever you wanted to because you could put it out there and share it. Look at a band like OK Go. OK Go makes a video that goes huge on YouTube, and look what happens. You want to take it now? Look at Psy. You know, Psy puts up a video on YouTube that has 1 billion views on it, and YouTube uses it in their promotion, you know, their look back at 2012. So we're getting off the point a little bit. Let's get Wes here on the screen. Wes, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? So the thing that's kind of bothering me is that people are acting like sites like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and stuff, that they're like public domain, kind of like they're providing services that we have a right to use. And so when they make these privacy policy changes and everything, people are like outraged, and it's like, that's not right. You know, it's like, this is a business. They should be allowed to do this. And I mean, we're taking advantage of it. So that's great if we find a loophole. But now that they're changing it and they're making it like, okay, now that you put your pictures on here, we can use them. It's like, well, they have the right to do that. And it's like great for them for having this idea and being successful. And I don't think everybody should be all outraged about this. You know what I mean?
Yes. And also,
yes. And you shouldn't feel bad about feeling the way you do. I mean, I'm sure that there's people out there that feel the same way that you do, that don't want to say it because they're afraid of the backlash. But I think that the way you feel, I think it's the way that a lot of people feel, and that's totally cool.
And a lot of people want everything for free. We live in this society now where everybody expects everything to be given to them for nothing. I get questions all day long as I don't even want to go into that, but I get a lot of questions and a lot of things where people, if they just did a little bit of research on their own, could simply answer a question. And you feel that you know, everybody wants something for everything, and they just want it given to them without having to do anything. So
totally. I mean, like, I'm at a photography school, and so I know a lot of kids that are using Instagram purely as their like professional page just to get work. And so for them, I know this is kind of a much bigger deal. And I'll admit it, like I have posted some of my work on my Instagram just to like get people's feedback and everything. But yeah, that's if they take my images and use them, then that's my fault for putting them on there. For
Hey,
trying to get that free advertising.
question before Jared jumps in there. You mentioned something interesting, that people in your school are actually using this to get work. Is it working out for them? Are people actually getting jobs or getting hired?
Yeah.
Wow. And who?
Yeah, because what people do is, what did you say?
Who's looking? Like, are we talking about like photo editors, art buyers? Who's looking?
Well, what they're actually doing is they're telling people they have their link on their business card, and so they're saying, "Hey, check out my Instagram," because
Right.
that's a much more accessible thing. Because sometimes, like certain websites, I know certain browsers don't always work as well as other browsers depending on how the website is set up and everything. So they're finding that Instagram is universal. Everybody can check it on their phone, and so they're sending their clients to that. As far as people finding them on Instagram, I don't think anybody has reached that level yet where they're getting jobs purely from Instagram, but I know that they are using it kind of like a portfolio page.
Adam, Adam, I wanted to read whatever was on screen.
Oh,
Thomas,
go
type
back.
in what you typed again so I can bring it on.
I mean, I think the cool thing about Instagram, particularly for a young photographer, which I'm assuming that you and your friends are kind of young, budding photographers, is that you guys are in the process of creating work. And I think that to potential people that are looking to hire or discover new talent, there's something about being a part of somebody in that developmental stage where they're kind of figuring out their style. And for somebody to discover that and have a vehicle to be able to see the work as it's being developed, as it's being, created, is really interesting. Because years ago, before the internet, a photographer, you would see an image and you would see a photographer and you would never know how it was done. Now there's all this behind the scenes stuff, so I think it's kind of a cool thing that it's much more open to people.
Here, let me.
Yeah, definitely.
Thomas says, what bothers me a little is changing the rules in the middle of the game. Do we have laws in this country? Do they constantly change? Are they always evolving? Everything's going to evolve. You can't just make a rule and say, this is the rule, it's done. Like sports, they have rules, they change them. They adapt with time. So, yes, changing the rules as you go on, but it's a free service again.
And at the same time, they're telling everybody. It's not like they just surprised you with it. It's like they're giving everybody fair warning.
And they're giving you a month.
As far as I know, they're not using any images from before they issued this, right? It's only for stuff you post afterwards?
Yes, only stuff.
Right, so
here, what would be a simple thing for them to do is give you the opt-out option. If you want to opt out, you opt out. If it costs you $5, it costs you $5. I don't think they'll do that. But if there's an opt-out, hey, don't post my images or don't sell my images, then you have the option. Most people won't even take it because they won't know it's there, and that's going to be it.
I mean, the only people that this is going to affect is professionals. And as far as backlash, the only thing I see happening is that professionals aren't going to put their professional work on.
But their professional work is something that you upload yourself. You don't take it normally with the Instagram camera. You're not going to use Instagram and take it there and throw it up and be worried. Now, my question is, if you go ahead and take a picture of the Mona Lisa with Instagram and you post it on Instagram, can they now go ahead and sell that because somebody owns the rights to the Mona Lisa? Stuff like that.
Yeah, someone else was saying that what if someone uses a picture of a person and then uses that for an ad, and now as a commercial advertising, even though they don't have a model release,
like street photography.
So kind of along those same lines.
That's a good question.
According to the terms of service, by posting, you're basically signing over whatever copyright might be associated to it. I haven't read the terms of service, but
fully.
I don't believe that it requires that kind of release, and I'm sure that there will be lawsuits or people will try to sue and whatnot. But you got to also consider that, are you going to try to sue a company that's worth $1 billion or more than $1 billion?
Yeah, but Adam,
I mean,
worth taking.
The thing is the street photography thing. People that don't know you're taking their image and then turning around and uploading it, and then them seeing an image on the side of a bus of them walking on the middle of the street. You didn't ask them to take their picture. They weren't asked if they should be sold. Like, maybe they're in witness protection and they weren't supposed to be found. And, you know, that stuff is where it gets a little interesting, right? But
Someone else was saying that, like, what if you had like a self-portrait and then like some STD medicine used your picture in their ad, you know, kind of on those same lines, where it's like, that's something that needs to be considered.
I'm sure, yeah, all that stuff does need to be considered.
Well,
Okay.
you know, I think that that's an interesting point, and you know, maybe the advertisers will take that into account. But it's a really, you know, you've opened up a lot of interesting debate here, and you've also enlightened, I think, a lot of people to how important Instagram has become for a lot of budding artists and photographers as well. So definitely some good points.
So many posts are going around Facebook, and we're sitting here talking about it. Shows you all the bitching and moaning that's going on. Shows you how embedded it is in our social conscience.
Definitely. And I mean, and this is everybody's in uproar of this when we just had those tragic events a couple of days ago. So it's like,
I said that earlier. I said there's bigger social issues going on in the world right now that you know, don't fret the little stuff. Don't sweat the little stuff. Whatever, you know, it's not a whatever.
Exactly.
But, you know, there are bigger things in the world to worry about than whether Instagram's going to make some money off of you and you making money off of them.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna kick you out, Wes. Thank you for your input.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Okay, man.
Guys, on the screen right now, you see a link. It says Lytro contest. That's right. I'm giving away a Lytro right now on my website. A Lytro, the camera that I ripped on, the camera that I said was fake, and it's now not fake. And you'll watch the video and see why, and see what happened, and why I got one, and why I'm giving one away. And Jared is now advertising. Yes, I'm giving away something free to get
You're advertising that you're giving something away for free.
I guess. But it all has ulterior motives. If you go ahead and like this contest, you like my page, and then you can see more posts from me. But I'm giving away a Lytro camera. If you would like to opt in and have a chance to win it, all you have to do is like my page and like the Lytro page. The contest rules are right there. Good luck. Good luck in winning that. Adam, thank you for joining us. Ad?
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're gonna call it a day right here at 54 minutes, guys.
I thought you were being smug.
No,
This is it. All right.
this is it. We're gonna call it a day.
Yeah. I think that it's good that people are talking. I think we should continue the discussion amongst ourselves. I think before people just jump to conclusions, it's good to kind of know what's up. I think. What's that?
This is a great point from Igor, and thank you for bringing that up. The question is, how usable is a 612 by 612 photo? Very, very good statement to pretty much end on.
Right.
Right? What the hell are you going to do with it? Not much.
Right. All righty, man. Well, that's all good stuff.
All right. I thank you for joining me, Adam. You may see this thing as a Raw Talk for the holiday coming up. We did an hour here. Thank you guys for jumping in. You know, sometimes you find in these discussions you may have a thought that it may be the worst idea ever, and then throughout the discussion, as why we discussed this stuff out, you may have changed your stance or just enlightened yourself just a little bit, as I have been through this, and I'm sure Adam has as well.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right, Ad, go out and shoot, have fun, and I'm going to call it a day. Jared Polin. All right, Ad. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this week's Raw Talk that we took from the Spreecast that we did not too long ago on the topic of Instagram. If you didn't know what the secret word was this week, I just made it up before I recorded this intro and outro, and it is Instagram debacle. We're going to go with Instagram debacle. So thank you guys for listening. If this is the last Raw Talk for the year, happy holidays and have a happy and healthy new year as we go forth into 2013 as a Fro Nation. All right, guys, Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, just click the subscribe button right here below the video, as YouTube has made the change. And one more thing, click on subscription updates, manage subscriptions, and if you would like to get an email every time I upload a new video, click this box. If you'd like to see it in your feed on YouTube, click that box. And over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, if you haven't signed up for the FroKnowsPhoto email list, you can go ahead and put your name in this box, your email in this box, hit send it, and I will send you a free photo guide, a guide to capturing motion in low light situations. If you're new to photography or you're somewhere in the intermediate range looking to learn a little bit more about your camera and how to get out of auto, don't forget about the FroKnowsPhoto Beginner Guide, a guide to getting out of auto. It's at a special price right now. It's a 3-hour-long video. You can buy it as an instant download or as a physical copy with free shipping around the world. So thank you guys very much for watching.